Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex or Nuzz here, and today's video is going to be looking at mid-level PVM, and we're going to be seeing how good it really is. And we're going to see how much money we can make in this video. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing 10 hours of mid-level PVM and keeping track of the loot. We are going to be hunting some really big drops this episode. Now, speaking of hunting things, that brings us to our sponsor for today's video, which is Hunting Clash. Now, Hunting Clash is a free-to-play mobile game available on iOS and Android. It's basically a hunting game with breathtaking hunting grounds available from across the world. They have a wide choice of different weapons, from sniper rifles to something like bows. With exciting new gear like sonars and super buffs, there's over 100 different animals to hunt from all around the world. Yes, you heard me right, that's over 100 animals to hunt. I wonder if they have chinchompas. You can even do PvP, which is available through duels and championships. They also have weekly events every single week to discover and play new exciting adventures. Now, I personally have been playing Hunting Clash while I've been AFKing and doing things on Runescape, and I really love playing games like this on mobile while I'm AFKing and doing things like that on Runescape. It really just gives me something to do while I'm doing all types of AFK activities, and I think you guys would enjoy it too. This game has really stunning graphics, and I've personally really enjoyed my time playing it. You can download Hunting Clash now through the link in the description to support my channel, and there will also be a pinned comment that you can download it as well. Again, thank you to Hunting Clash for sponsoring this video, and make sure you guys go download it below. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is kind of go into a look at what my plan is to do during these 10 hours and see what bosses I'm going to kill and for how long. So I actually did a video on this a few weeks ago, but with high level PVM. So I'll be sure to link that in the description if you want to check that out as well. So in terms of a goal amount we want to make in today's video, the last video we did for high level PVM, our goal was 300 mil. Since we are doing mid-level PVM, I think that it's reasonable to make the goal 150 mil for this video. Now, as for the bosses we're going to be killing in this video, first we are going to be doing some Gregorovic, as it's a nice mid-level boss and has decent drops like the Shadow Glaives and of course the Crests. We will also be doing more God Wars 2 bosses because they're pretty much a staple of mid-level PVM, including 2 hours of Helwyr, as we have some really big drops we can get there as well. Of course, no mid-level PVM video is complete without Vindicta, so we will be doing 2 hours of Vindicta this video. We're hoping for, of course, a Crest of Zeros or a big Dragon Rider Lance, as they're going for like 45 mil. And the normal drops for all these God Wars bosses are gonna add up a ton. I also decided to do 2 hours of the Corporal Beast because it's an old boss, an interesting boss in my opinion, but also one that drops a ton of good items like Onyx Bolts, different shield sigils, and lots of good normal drops. Finally, for the last 2 hours of this video, well, I'm not sure yet. So last video that we did the 10 hours of high level PVM, at the end of the video, we kind of decided live at what we were going to do for the final 2-hour slot, and I think it's going to be the same for this episode. So make sure to stay tuned until the end of the video and see what boss we finish off with. Like I said before, my goal for this video is 150 mil in loot, but before we get into the bosses, roll the epic battle scene. Alright, so we started off with some Gregorovic, which is probably the God Wars 2 boss that I've done the least of. I decided to use a melee setup for this, but later discovered a good range setup as well. And I used to remember taking a lot of damage here at Greg when I used to do it before, but now using this melee setup with Trim Masterwork, it really wasn't bad at all. I was reliably able to AFK, and I pretty much just cruised to a good 40 to 50 kills an hour. I think on my collection log, the only thing I really have from Greg is maybe one of the Sliskean essences. And speaking of the Sliskean essences, we did actually get one from Greg. However, they are only 700k each. I really remember them being like 8 to 10 mil each at one point and being like the main drop you wanted at Greg. But I guess since Greg has gotten easier to kill, the essences may have crashed. But that's okay because we do end up getting an awesome drop here during the 2 hours, and that is a main hand Shadow Glaive. A really nice drop to see, and it's a great start being on our first boss of the video. I ended up breezing through the 2 hours of Greg, and the normal drops seem to add up a lot, so I'm excited to see what the price check is. So let's go check out how much we made from Greg in 2 hours in the price check now. Alright, so looking at our price check from 2 hours of Gregorovic, we actually got a decent amount of loot, so the normal loot actually added up quite well. And we ended up getting 2 of the Sliskean Essence, which like I said were less than I thought, but still 700k each. And then the Shadow Glaive was 16.4 mil, so definitely made up the majority of our loot for a total of 24.3 million GP from the 2 hours. So it comes out to around 12 mil an hour, so close to what we need to be on as a pace to make the 150 mil. So next we're going to be moving on to some Helwyr. So moving on to Helwyr, I actually have done quite a bit of Helwyr. I believe all I need left for the log is the pet, so I'm pretty familiar with Helwyr. So I decided to range it, and I used a method that I actually talked about in one of my latest videos where I used a wyvern crossbow and poison, and they were just chill, nice kills. So from Helwyr, the main things you're looking for is the Kaiwir wand and orb, which go for a decent amount, and of course the crest probably goes for the most. And surprisingly, Helwyr's essence is worth quite a bit, way more than it used to. I remember when it was around 300k each, but now it's way more, and we actually ended up getting one, and it's over 6 million GP for Helwyr's essence, which I have no idea why they've swapped, so Greg is less and now Helwyr's essence is so high, but hey, I'm not complaining. 6 mil for an essence. And then something crazy happened to me, and the worst part is that I didn't get it on recording. My recording file actually corrupted, but I did get screenshots and proof of this so you guys can see. So I ended up getting an orb of the Kaiwir, and then I ended up getting another one back to back. Literally one kill after another. I don't know how rare that is, and they were the same item. We got an orb of the Helwyr Elders and then another orb of the Helwyr Elders. I was just losing it at this point, and after that I actually did also get another drop, which was a dormant anima core body, I believe. So just stupid luck here at Helwyr. 2 orbs and an essence, so some really decent loot, and now we're gonna go and price check it all. So looking here at the Helwyr price check, we put all our loot in and we see a total of 34.5 mil, so even better than Greg. We got the 2 orbs, as you can see there in the price checker, and the essence, which is like 6 mil, which still, I'm just in disbelief why those are so much. Maybe someone can tell me below in the comments why the essences are so much. But 34 mil from Helwyr, about 17.5 mil an hour at Helwyr. So again, we are now at around 60 mil in 4 hours. So we pretty much are on the perfect pace to hit the 150 mil, so I'm really liking it so far. And now we are going to go do some Corporal Beast. Alright, so I ended up taking my melee setup to Corp and trying to do some AFK Corp. It was pretty easy. I haven't done Corp in a while, and I believe I don't have like anything on the Corp log, so I was hoping maybe I could get a sigil or two, or maybe get, you know, the pet, because I think the Corp pet is one of the coolest pets. I don't know, I just really like how it looks. It's nostalgic, it's good looking, it's just a really nice pet all around. So we ended up doing our 2 hours of Corp AFK, and we got some decent drops. We got some cannonballs, we got some onyx bolts, and I actually ended up getting one sigil, which the sigils are just really rare, which is why the log takes so long to complete. But we ended up getting the spectral sigil, which is only around 700k, so it's not a very lucrative drop, but it is a rare drop and a cool drop to see for my log in any sense. So Corp was, you know, just nice and AFK, and I wasn't expecting to make a ton from Corp, but I was hoping that the normal drops would add up. So let's go price check from our 2 hours of Corp and see how much the loot adds up to. Alright, so looking at our 2 hours of Corp, we didn't get super lucky. Of course, like I said, we got the spectral sigil, but only one onyx bolt drop in 2 hours, and I think that's only one cannonball drop in 2 hours for a total of 5 million GP. So really unlucky. We got a lot of like mystic staves and stuff like that, so we only made 5 mil in the 2 hours, which is gonna bring down our total quite a bit. So we're at about 65 mil in 6 hours, so still over 10 mil an hour, but we're gonna have to make up some of the progress when we go to Vindicta next. Alright, so we headed to Vindicta, and Vindicta is also a boss I haven't done in a long time, just because I have the log complete. I have all the pets, all the drops, so I really had no reason to go to Vindicta, but since this is a mid-level video, we really can't have it without Vindicta. So we went to Vindicta, and it went pretty smooth. This was my first time ever ranging Vindicta. Whenever I would do it before, I would either melee or mage, and it's been probably about a year since I've really done any Vindicta, so using range and greater ricochet, it was really overpowered. I think I was getting like 40-second kills or so. I think I got a personal record, one of my first kills at like 38 seconds. So just, you know, it was honestly probably my favorite out of all 3 of the God Wars 2 bosses we did today, just because of the fact that, you know, I don't know, it just, like, I was just melting it so much with my greater ricochet, and it wasn't that hard to soul split and maintain health as much as the other ones, so I was pretty much constantly like on full health, and it was just a pretty chill fight. So we're basically looking for the Dragon Rider Lance, the Crest of Zeros, and of course all the normal drops from Vindicta. Vindicta's essence isn't really worth that much. I think it's still super cheap, like 200k. And we got some decent normal drops, but we actually ended up getting a banger with the Dragon Rider Lance, 40 mil plus, so just an absolutely huge drop. We got that in our first hour of Vindicta, and then sadly on the second hour though, we didn't end up getting any more drops, but we still got a ton of normal loot, and I think it's really gonna add up in the price check. Alright, so going to the Vindicta price check, as you can see, we got the Dragon Rider Lance, so a huge portion of this price check goes to that, but the normal loot like the Dragon Bones and things like that did add up quite a bit, but in total 47 mil for 2 hours of Vindicta for around 23.5 mil an hour. So I think as of now we're at, I'm not even sure, we are at a decent amount though, and we're getting close to the 150 mil. So now we have 2 hours left, and I'm really not sure which boss to go to, but we've done Vindicta, we've done Helwyr, we've done Gregorovic, so it would kind of only make sense to do the Twin Furies. Alright guys, so we ended up going to Twin Furies as our last boss of the video. So we're basically rounding out with all the God Wars 2 bosses and Corp, and Again, just like Greg, I haven't actually been to Twin Furies a lot. I think I do have one pet because I got pretty lucky, but I haven't done them in quite a while either. So I went with a melee setup with Lanikia's Spear because I actually don't have a scythe. I had sold it earlier. So I used the Lanikia Spear with Masterwork and it went pretty well. I was getting around 50-second kills or so not too bad. And I forgot kind of how you have to kind of keep the Twin Furies together to deal damage to them both. So it's kind of interesting doing them again, but I wasn't too impressed with their normal drops in all honesty. But we did do 2 hours of the Twin Furies. I used Berserker Aura and yeah, it was pretty fun. I don't think it was my favorite God Wars 2 boss, but I think I liked it a little more than Helwyr, and maybe a little more than Greg, but I still think Vindicta was the most fun to kill. But yeah, in total, we didn't get any drops, sadly. No rare drops from 2 hours of the Twin Furies. We had gotten a drop at every single other God Wars 2 boss, so it kind of made sense that we were due for a little bit of a dry streak, but we're going to see how much the normal loot equals anyway. So if we look at the normal loot here, we actually got quite a bit of coins compared to the other bosses, and some things like Wine of Zamorak, Raw Sharks. I didn't realize Raw Sharks were honestly so much, but we ended up getting about 6 mil, which is about 3 mil an hour, but no rare drops like I said, so you can't really expect too much. But now's the moment of truth. We're going to go and we're going to look at all the loot we've gotten and see if we hit our 150 mil goal, and if not, see how close we were. Alright, so coming into the final price checks, looking at the first price check, we have 54.6 mil. We have our Helwyr orbs in there, our Shadow Glaive, and a bunch of the normal loot, so 54 mil off the first price check. And then if we go into the second price check, we're looking at 58.2 mil. This includes a lot of the normal loot. Lantadimes made up a ton of it from Helwyr, and then of course the Dragon Rider Lance. So in total we have about 113 mil, so we are short of our goal of 150 mil, but we made 113 mil in 10 hours of PVM, so not too bad, and actually not too far off the high level video. So you know, it's pretty good. I felt like I was pretty surprised by the medium level PVM. I didn't think it would be, you know, this good. I kind of set the bar high with the 150 mil goal, but I thought we did pretty good. We got a drop from each God Wars 2 boss, except of course Twin Furies. But all in all, it was pretty good. I think Corp was definitely the weakest link, but I wanted to try another mid-level PVM boss just to mix it up and get some variety in there. But yeah, I think it was a good video, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I hope this inspires you guys to go do some PVM. I know in my last video, you guys said you were super inspired to learn to do higher level PVM. So if you can do mid-level PVM, I hope this inspires you to go and start getting some big drops. And I also want to thank Hunting Clash again for sponsoring this video. If you guys want, you can go into the description and download the game for absolutely free. It's super fun, so make sure you go try it out and support the channel. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you all in the next video.